You know, I've noticed something about fear. Most people think fear is a warning, a sign that maybe we shouldn't do something. That if we're scared, it probably means it's the wrong decision. I used to believe that too. But when I look back at my life, every decision that changed it started with fear. Leaving Poland, starting a business, selling that business, returning to Poland after 43 years, even sitting here today talking to a camera. Every one of those decisions scared me. So maybe fear isn't telling us to stop. Maybe it's simply standing at the entrance to the next chapter of our lives. Fear is strange. It speaks with confidence. It makes predictions. What if you fail? What if people laugh at you? What if you lose everything? What if you're too old? It sounds reasonable. All right. Almost intelligent. The problem is, fear only tells one side of the story. What if this becomes the best decision you ever make? It never asks, what if your life completely changes because you finally tried? Fear has a very active imagination. Unfortunately, it usually imagines the worst possible future. And if we listen to it long enough, we start believing that future already exists. I remember sitting in my house in Canada one evening. Nothing had bad happened. Business was going well. I had a nice house, vehicles, a motorcycle. Financially, I was doing better than ever imagined when I was younger. If someone had looked at my life from the outside, they probably would have said, "You've made it." But inside, something felt different. Not dramatic, not depressing, just empty. It wasn't that I hated my life. I simply couldn't imagine living exactly the same way for another 10 years. That thought scared me, not because I didn't know the answer, because I did. I just didn't want to admit it. It's amazing how long we can negotiate with ourselves. Maybe I just need a vacation. Maybe I'm burnt out. Maybe next year I will feel different. Maybe I should wait a little longer. A little longer. A little longer can quietly become 5 years or 10. Looking back now, I wasn't afraid of moving. I wasn't afraid of starting over. I was afraid of admitting that the life I'd built no longer felt like mine. And once you admit something like that, you know you'll eventually have to act. That's the part people don't talk about. Honesty is much harder than courage, because courage only comes after you've told yourself the truth. One thing I've noticed over the years, fear never really goes away. People think successful people aren't afraid. That's not true. Every successful person I've ever met was afraid. The difference is they don't expect fear to disappear before they took action. When I started my business, I was afraid. When I sold it, I was afraid. When I moved halfway across the world, I was afraid. When I started this YouTube channel at 55, I was afraid again. Different decisions, same feeling. Fear simply changes its clothes. Something else occurred to me recently. So many people write to me, especially people thinking about changing their lives, changing careers, moving elsewhere, starting over. Almost every message sounds like the same. What if I fail? Whenever I read these messages, I want to ask one question. What makes you think you haven't already done difficult things? Think about it. You've survived heartbreaks, you've lost people, you've changed jobs, you've raised children, you're recovered from failures, you've learned skills you once thought were impossible. You've already proven yourself that you can adapt, but somehow fear makes us forget every previous victory. It's almost like amnesia. It convinces us that this next challenge will somehow be impossible. Today, I still don't know where life will take me. I don't know if YouTube will become everything I hope it becomes. I don't know what my life will look like 5 years from now. And honestly, I'm okay with that. Because these days, I don't ask myself, am I afraid? Of course I am. Instead, I ask a different question. If fear wasn't making this decision, what would I do? That question has changed everything because fear is allowed to speak. It just isn't allowed to make decisions for me. One thing about me has never really changed. If there was something I truly wanted, I never expected it to happen overnight. Sometimes I didn't have money. Sometimes I didn't have time. Sometimes I simply wasn't ready. But the moment an idea took hold in my mind, I started preparing for it. Quietly, one small step at a time. Sometimes that preparation lasted months. Sometimes it lasted years. That's how I left Poland. That's how I built my business. That's how I returned after 43 years. And that's exactly how I'm living today. Right now, I'm preparing for another major step in my life. I'm not ready to talk about it yet. Not because it's a secret. I've just learned that some things are better shared after they become reality. Not while they're still only plans. Because dreams don't become reality through wishful thinking. First comes decision, then the preparation, then the action. Maybe fear has never been the problem. Maybe the real problem is giving fear permission to decide what kind of life we're going to live. None of us knows how much time we have. And maybe that's exactly why we shouldn't spend it waiting for the day when we're really finally fearless. I don't think that day ever comes. The people we admire aren't fearless. They've simply learned to keep walking, even when fear walks beside them. I'd rather spend the rest of my life building a life that feels like mine than protecting one that no longer does. Maybe that's what a second life really is. Not becoming someone new, but finally becoming the person you always wanted to be. Thank you for spending these minutes with me. I'll see you in the next episode.